Happy Tech Sunday Funday, but it's actually Monday because I got food poisoning. But the show must go on, even if it's a day late. So, kicking off our week is the Bowers & Wilkins PX7 S2E. I've always been a big fan of Bowers & Wilkins headphones. They've always blended tasteful luxury design with great sound. The PX7 S2E seems a bit strange though, since the PX7 S2 only came out a year ago, so it's strange to see a refresh so soon. Normally their headphone cycles are at least a few years long. Anyway, here are the updates. According to Bowers, they have significant advances in sound quality due to an extensively upgraded DSP. For those that don't know what DSP stands for, it stands for Digital Signal Processing, and quite often is useful to ensure the best sound experience for the end user. Some examples include headphones altering the sound profile based on your ear shape, or adapting the EQ of your headphones based on your preference. The PX7 S2E retain Bowers' signature 40mm angled drivers. They also support the usual high-quality Bluetooth codecs that we've come to expect from high-end wireless headphones, such as Qualcomm's aptX Adaptive. The headphones have a very reasonable battery life of 30 hours, and this year thankfully bring back the 3.5mm jack, which was sadly missed in last year's version. Like any Bluetooth headphones nowadays, it comes with a companion amp, which allows you to change the EQ, activate different noise cancelling modes, and offer direct access to some streaming services. They start at £379 or $399. Now moving on to Apple's new OS updates, including iOS 17, watchOS 10, and iPadOS 17. There are so many new features that I don't have time to cover all of them, but here's a whistle-stop tour of the new updates. Let's start with iOS 17. The phone app gets an update in the form of contact posters. Contact posters are visually rich cards that can include photos, customizable text, and even memojis. These pop up when you get a phone call from one of your contacts. You can also create one for yourself, and this appears when you call another iPhone user. When you or a friend updates their contact poster, it also changes for both of you. FaceTime now supports the equivalent of voicemail, but for FaceTime, so if you really need to show someone something and they didn't pick up, this is the way to do it. By far the most interesting and fun update is standby mode, which basically turns your phone into a smart display when it's turned to landscape and is charging. I've already used this feature and I love using it as a bedside clock, but you can also use it as a photo frame, or I can see it being a useful desk companion where you can see upcoming calendar events, or just use it as a media controller. Widgets are now interactive. Before, if you clicked on a widget, it would just launch the app, but now you can actually interact with them, which is super useful for to-do apps. AirDrop transfers can now continue even if you walk away, which is really cool. Okay, moving on to watchOS 10. The most exciting and largest UI refresh is Smart Stack, which is basically widgets that are directly accessible from your watch face. I love this and think this should have been around years ago. Instead of a reliance on apps, these widgets do much the same and are much easier to access. There are a few cycling and hiking related updates too, including a new Power Zones workout view for cyclists, and a 3-dimensional compass view to show elevation, and topographic maps for hikers. Moving swiftly on to iPadOS 17, the lock screen gets some nice upgrades in terms of personalization, such as lock screen widgets, live activities, and animated backgrounds. Using PDFs gets a whole lot easier in iPadOS 17 with features such as autofill and the ability to annotate PDFs in notes. Stage Manager is now more usable and more Mac-like with flexibility in moving and resizing windows. And you can also use an external camera with iPad. And that's pretty much about it. Next up, the Asus ROG Ally Z1 Edition. The original Asus ROG Ally launched a few months ago and was a very compelling alternative to the very popular Steam Deck. It packed AMD's Z1 Extreme and offered up to double the performance of the Steam Deck for not much more money. Windows definitely made the experience less seamless than the Steam Deck's Linux-based software, but did allow for greater game compatibility. Now Asus is releasing a lower powered variant of the ROG Ally, powered by the AMD Z1 chip. It retains the same 512GB of storage, 16GB of RAM, and the excellent 1080p screen as its more expensive brother. Unfortunately, performance tests are extremely disappointing, often losing to the much cheaper Steam Deck. Its $600 price tag puts it in a very confusing position. For just $100 more, you can get the $700 Z1 Extreme powered ROG Ally, which brings a significant power boost. Or you can save money and get a Steam Deck and get a more unified, polished experience. I never thought I'd be covering a Microsoft Paint update, but here we are. Microsoft Paint finally brings the functionality to work in layers. How they have not done this already is beyond me. But now it seems like it could be a proficient tool for light image editing. To complement this new feature, it also has a background removable tool. Great to see. The Nikon Zf is Nikon's answer to Fujifilm's popular X series of retro-styled cameras. It has a beautiful retro design, likely influenced by Nikon's own FM2 or FE2 film cameras. It has lots of dials for manual control, and a satisfying mechanical shutter. This camera is definitely all about the experience of taking your time to take photos. Despite its retro design, it packs modern day camera specs, including 24 megapixel full frame sensor, 299 point tracking autofocus with subject tracking, in-body stabilization, and dual card slots. It also inherits the X-Speed 7 processor from its more expensive brothers, the Nikon Z7 and Z9 camera. It also has decent video specs, with the ability to record 4K 10-bit H.2.265 video at 60fps cropped or 30fps full width, and has a 3.2-inch articulating touchscreen. The Nikon Zf starts at $1,999 or £2,299. Next, moving on to a pair of gaming headphones. The gaming headphone market is very saturated, with many of the new products all blending into one. Corsair has managed to differentiate itself here by creating an open back pair of gaming headphones, not something you see very often. The advantage of open back headphones is that they often sound more airy, clear and spacious when compared to their closed counterparts. The inherent flaw with open back headphones is that they can't block outside noise, and everybody nearby can hear what you're listening to. So this is probably best reserved for solo players. To complement this already compelling headphone are large 50mm drivers made from lightweight graphene. The Virtuoso Pro starts at £170. Bambu has been an industry shaker with their 3D printers, injecting a much needed dose of innovation. Their printers offer a combination of fast and quality prints, which previously wasn't possible at the given price points of their printers. Aims to make colourful 3D printing accessible to anyone. It has a small 180 by 180 by 180mm print size. It also has an all-metal hot end, an easy-to-remove heatsink for quick repair, and a 4-way splitter on top of the extruder. The 4-way splitter allows it to connect to the innovative AMS light, which allows you to print in more than one colour. The A1 Mini prints up to a blazing fast 500mm per second, and also has modern day conveniences such as automatic bed leveling, filament runout sensors, and a 1080p camera for monitoring the print. The A1 Mini seems to be a perfect beginner 3D printer, and is Bambu's cheapest printer yet, starting at $299 or £269. If you want to print in multiple colours, then this price goes up to $459 or £409. While this seems like a fantastic deal, it's also worth looking at Bambu's own P1P, which is a more capable 3D printer. Moving on to Amazon. When Amazon releases something new, they can never just release one new thing. They have to release a bucket load of new things, and that's exactly what they've just done. So we're going to blaze through their announcements. First up, Alexa with generative AI. Alexa is now better with the inclusion of generative AI, which allows it to become more conversational and get rid of the need to repeat the keyword over and over again. Amazon announced the latest Echo Show 8, which has an improved display, camera, and microphone. The coolest new feature is an adaptive user interface, which changes the display information based on how close you are. It retails for $150. The Amazon Echo frames are a pair of smart glasses with Alexa built in. The new Amazon Echo frames have a longer battery life of up to 6 hours, they are 50% slimmer, and have a redesigned audio experience. They go on sale for $270. The Aeromax 7 is Amazon's latest high-end router, range extender, and repeater. It offers 10 gigabit Ethernet connections, it supports 2.4 GHz, 5 GHz, and 6 GHz radio bands with up to 4.3 gigabits for wireless connections. It has 4 Ethernet ports and supports range up to 2,500 square feet of wireless coverage. But if you need more than that, you can create a mesh unit and add more of these. It starts at a hefty $600 for just one unit. The Echo Hub is basically a wall-mounted smart home hub for managing, well, you guessed it, all of your smart home appliances. It also has an infrared sensor for detecting when someone is nearby, and it shifts into a clock mode when no one is around. This retails for $180. Ring camera called the Ring Stick-Up Cam Pro, which is an indoor and outdoor camera with intelligent tracking features such as 3D motion detection. It also retails for $180. As for Fire TV updates, there's a slightly refreshed Fire TV 4K, which is very slightly more powerful and has Wi-Fi 6E. It's priced at $60. They also announced a Fire TV soundbar at a very affordable $120. Moving on to the kids stuff, we have the Echo Pop Kids, which is essentially a reskinned Echo Pop and sells for $50. They also announced the Fire HD 10 Kids and Kids Pro, which cater towards 2 different age groups. They have new apps and games on offer, some of which implement AI, such as a music maker app. These go on sale for $190. Amazon has introduced a couple accessibility features. They announced a new feature called Eye Gaze, which allows users with mobility or speech disabilities to perform actions using their eyes. There's also a cool translation feature, which can transcribe calls. There's also a new map view, which allows you to map out your house using a LiDAR-equipped device, such as the iPhone Pro series of phones, and offers an alternative way to view your home and its smart Alexa devices. And finally, there's a new service called Alexa Emergency Assist, which lets you contact emergency services with Alexa, which connects you to a trained agent. Wow, that was a lot. Next up is a pair of speakers from Anker's sub-brand, Soundcore. There are 2 models, the Motion 300 and 100, both of which are rugged, metal-clad speakers meant to be taken outdoors. They both have an IPX7 rating, which means they're both suitable for use at pools, but notably do not offer any dust or sand resistance. The Motion 300 is the larger and more powerful of the 2 speakers, offering 13 hours of battery life, while the Motion 100 has 12 hours of battery life. The 300 retails for $80 and the 100 for $60. Hot off the heels of the new Apple Watches, Garmin has announced the Garmin Viviactive 5. It has an aluminium design, bright AMOLED display, and a wide range of health and fitness features. The Vivo 5 Active has more than 30 preloaded GPS and indoor sports applications, and using the Garmin Connect app, allows you to create personalized workouts from a vast library of 1,600 exercises. What seems to set this apart from the Apple Watch and other smartwatches is a larger focus on recovery and how each workout impacts your body. There's also Garmin Coach, which allows users to meditate to relieve stress, and the watch is capable of continuous tracking of heart rate, respiration, pulse oximetry, and stress levels. Women can also use the watch to track their menstrual cycle and pregnancy. Continuing the focus on wellness, the watch also offers sleep tracking, which includes tracking of sleep stages, naps, pulse oximetry, and heart rate variability. It can also provide tailored recommendations. All of this retails for $300. Last but certainly not least is the Fujifilm Instax PAL. Our final product of the week is definitely the cutest. The Fuji Instax PAL is a tiny little camera that is meant to capture life's spontaneous moments. It can capture up to 50 photos on its onboard memory, or many more on an external micro SD card. The design is super simple and just has a power button and a large shutter button. I can see this camera being a super minimalist, fun camera to take on holiday without taking you out of the moment. It retails for £89 in the UK, and strangely in the US, it's only sold as a bundle with an Instax printer for $199. So that's the tech wrap up for this week. It's been an absolutely jam-packed week. Which of those products excites you the most? Please let me know in the comments, and a like and subscribe would be amazing. Until then, I'll see you next time.